Oh God, we're back.
We are back.
This show's still going. Wait, I thought that was it.
No. There's several more seasons to get through.
Damn it.
And there's more than one episode in each season.
Double damn it.
It's terrible.
It is. Oh God, for you poor unfortunate saps that have stumbled upon this. This is Wine, and Once. I'm Dee.
And I'm Lo, and welcome to a bad time.
Oh, it's a really bad time.
Such a bad time.
It's a bad time, and I won't apologize for how bad of a time it is.
No, it's a bad time. So every week we are going to rewatch an episode of Once Upon a Time. I say rewatch because we've been watching this show for over 10 years now, which is
we started
really upsetting.
We never stopped. We just kind of keep going in a vicious cycle.
Exactly. So we are going to go ahead and rewatch an episode every single week. We'll recap it, and then we'll talk about it. And we hopefully will find some clarification here somewhere.
Exactly. On our running list, we have the family tree, the fuck fern, the bean count, the lie list, and most importantly, how many final dark curses are there? So
I can't wait to find out what all of those words mean.
They're all terrible. None of them
I didn't like any of them.
What are you drinking today? Because I need alcohol for this to happen.
Oh yes, to get through this, we need to drink.
It's called Wine and Once, and no, I'm very rarely drinking wine, but
listen,
it's really insert alcohol of choice, or if you don't drink, that's fine too. But it's insert beverage of choice to get angry.
Correct. We drink and record on Wednesdays, and that's a school night. So I don't drink wines on school nights.
Neither do I.
I have a nice little lager here that I am drinking, and it's quite good. What are you drinking?
I have one of the mini hard seltzers you left behind last time you visited. So thank you for stocking and fueling my anger tonight.
I mean, ruby grapefruit just makes me angry in general, so it works out.
It's great. Don't worry about it. Oh, God. All right. Season 1, episode... I almost said season 2, episode 1, for fuck's sake. Season 1, episode 2.
The thing you love most is
the thing I love most is drinking and not watching Once. But hey, I'm doing one of those things, so...
Are we
just kidding? I do love this show. I do love it.
No, this is my deepest love, and it's upsetting. I deserve more than this.
It says a lot about us that this show has convinced us that this is the thing we love most.
I don't want to think about what it means. Thank you.
Well, terrible news. We're going to be thinking a lot about this episode and what the thing you love most might be. It's not going to be good.
We sure are.
Oh, so as always, we'll start off by consulting our trusty Disney Plus and reading what they think this episode's about.
Wonderful.
So today it reads, Regina tries to push Emma out of Storybrooke and Henry's life. Information about the evil queen's curse comes out.
Okay. I just have to say that image gives me an image of Regina just physically pushing Emma, which I wish were the case. It is not the case, but
I think it would have been more effective. It would be 100% more effective than anything else we've seen Regina try to do so far.
That is accurate. Nothing has worked thus far, so...
No, and the Disney Plus summaries aren't great. This one leaves a lot to be desired, because it is one sentence, first of all. It doesn't really tell us... This tells us this is an expository episode. It says, Regina tries, not succeeds, push Emma out, and information comes out. So I mean, I know what happened, because we just saw it, but reading this, I would have zero idea what's going down in this episode.
Oh, absolutely none. Which, I mean, I guess you are trying to entice people?
Do you feel enticed?
No, of course not. I'm never enticed by Once.
I mean, I'll post a picture to socials, but you should be enticed by the, little, what's it called? The photo for this episode. Thumbnail? Is that a thing?
Thumbnail? Yeah.
Yeah, it's Rumple and Regina getting real close together.
Real intimate.
In a jail cell. Yeah, so I mean, that's enticing, I suppose.
I guess if that's your ship, it really is.
Okay,
Terrible
so
news.
this
Terrible
is
news.
terrible news. All right, so
Um,
what actually happens in this episode?
all right. So really, we we get a nice little recap of the pilot, and
Mhm.
then we open at the very end of the pilot episode where Henry is staring out of his window with his, I don't know, 30/30 robot Terminator vision because he's across town and can see a single minute move on the clock,
Like, my
on the
God,
town
like
clock.
I'll buy if if it moves and he doesn't react when the chime goes and he's like, "Yes, this is good." But he grins like a child on Christmas Day the second that minute hand moves.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. So he's got his robot Terminator vision and he sees the minute hand move. And then later, because nobody else notices, but later we see Mary Margaret surprised when she's at breakfast at Granny's and the clock chimes. And then Emma wakes up in Granny's bed and breakfast. Really want to launch into that little commercial from the season 1 or 2
So
promos.
good.
Granny's bed and breakfast and Granny's diner. Come stay at our bed and breakfast and eat at our diner.
So good.
But
I think at some point you do need to just reenact the entire thing.
I
That's
would
going to
love
be
to.
required. Thank you.
Of course, yeah. Of course. It is my favorite
It's so good.
promo thing that anybody's ever done, pretty much.
It's so
But
dumb.
anyway, Emma wakes up at Granny's bed and breakfast at her new room. And side note, where's a bra to bed? No.
Full face of makeup also, I'd like to point out.
Very true. Of course, we want to age ourselves prematurely, I guess, by sleeping in our makeup.
Mhm. I'm sorry, no self-loving 28-year-old would do that to themselves.
It's not good for your skin. Do not
No.
sleep with your makeup on. Take it off. Double cleanse. It's important. So anyway, people are going about their morning routines. Regina's not happy about it. She's looking at the book that she found and realizes that several pages are missing from the Snow White story. Oh no. Ambushes her son to talk about them, which he's just like, hey, it's an old book. There's pages that are missing, like a liar.
The binding is perfect, so it's a weird lie.
I mean, in his defense, it's actually a pretty good lie because the binding is not torn out.
Oh, that is true.
The pages are clearly missing, but they've been torn out from not the binding. The binding
This
is
is
still
true.
intact. I mean,
Intrigue.
clearly somebody has ripped these pages out, so that's a weird lie. But he is 10. We'll give him that, I guess. But basically, Regina's like, I don't like what this book is doing to you. I don't like what Emma's doing to you. You know, how you talk to your kid. And Henry pulls the whole, you're not my mom card, which, Henry, hate to break it to you.
She sure is. She adopted
sure
you and
is.
everything. It's a done deal, kiddo.
So Regina notices that the clock is moving, and she notices that Emma's little yellow slug bug is still in town, which Archie's right there, and I feel like he's smug about it, but also he doesn't know that he's being smug about it, which is a weird little conundrum. I really like Archie. I mean,
Really?
really hate Archie in this season, but I like the concept of Archie.
That's fair.
In later seasons, when I get less of Archie, I like Archie more, which is probably not a good sign. But, oh well.
That's showbiz, baby.
So then we cut to Emma's hotel room again, and Regina just knocking at the door, bang, 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 and then doesn't say hello, doesn't, say anything, just launches into this very weird monologue about the whole hardiness of the apples in the basket that she is holding in her tree that she raised.
The apples that she clearly specifies are Honey Crisp, they are not. Those are straight up red delicious apples that she's throwing in Emma's face, which are very different and also disgusting.
Very true. They are clearly the worst kind of apple because you can look at them and just know the inside is going to be mealy and textury, and I don't like it.
Hate what you're saying.
Terrible news. So basically, Emma just wants to know that Henry's okay. And the more that Regina's like angry and pushing her away, the more she wants to stay. Gets weird and just it's an oddly shot scene. It's an interesting scene. Very heavy on the close-ups and getting closer. Swan Queen shippers, I think we see you.
We see you, we hear you. You are valid.
You are valid. Put a pin in it. Then we flash to the enchanted forest, and we flash back to the wedding, and Charming's oh so very stealthy yelling, "Hey!" and then throwing a sword. It's a choice. Certainly.
It is. I'll never get over it. It's my favorite choice he made.
He's a love. Bless his heart. Bless his heart. So we see Regina decide, after disappearing into a puff of smoke, she decides to enact the dark curse, but oh no, she gave away the dark curse. She traded it away for a sleeping curse from Maleficent.
No.
So we have to go visit Maleficent's castle, obviously. And so they have this like weird little villain heart-to-heart where Maleficent is like, "Hey, don't do this." And Regina's like, "LOL, I'm gonna do it." And Maleficent's like, "No, please don't do this. It's a bad idea." And Regina's like, "Hey, I'm gonna throw fire at you." And then, so they get into this, villain battle CGI. It's very short. Budget, I assume, is tight.
I can only assume.
Basically, Regina threatens Maleficent's little tiny unicorn, and then Phantom of the Opera is a chandelier down. So Maleficent's caught within the chandelier, like it's a Parisian opera house. And then she steals the curse back. We do get one of my favorite lines of the episode here, where Maleficent's like, "Hey, just kill me if you're gonna kill me." And Regina goes like, "Why would I do that? You're my only friend."
What a bizarre concept of friends. I mean, I have 2 friends, so
maybe we understand this.
I have like 2.5 friends depending on the day.
Yeah. But it's just such a revealing character moment, and more on that later, because I do think it was a good little line.
A pause.
It does. So Regina tries to enact the curse. She uses her prized steed, and it's very embarrassing because it fails in front of all her little villain friends. And this little leprechaun gremlin gnome dude laughs at her.
It's like a garden. It's just like your typical gnome. I've never seen any other gnomes in Storybrooke or Enchanted Forest or no, never again. Just one.
The part is, I'm like, she specifically states that she has invited those with the darkest of hearts, and then there's this little gnome guy, and he just kind of laughs at her. So she turns him into stone, as you do. And then in a beautiful transition, we find out that Regina has a stone garden gnome in her.
But it's like a life-size one, because that's not disturbing.
Yeah. Oh no. Regina's got a dead body in her yard.
Ooh.
Okay. So we are in Storybrooke. Sydney Glass is writing a smear piece on Emma, doing Regina's bidding. But, really, he can't dig up anything, and that annoys Regina a lot. And she has this whole thing about, what I do to things that have no value to me? I throw them away. Implying that she's going to throw away Sydney Glass.
Wait, a whole ass person just off to the curb with you.
Bye.
Garbage picks up on Tuesdays. Bye.
Enjoy. Abundanza, my friend. So Graham and Emma are doing a weird little flirty thing at Granny's restaurant and diner, but then Henry interrupts them. So Emma and Henry start walking to school. Henry realizes that the apple that Emma is about to eat is from Regina, and he just chucks it over his shoulder and says, Don't eat that! Yeet!
I want to know, what if Pongo was, prancing along and ate it? What would have happened to that poor dog?
Sleeping curse.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Gotta go find Regina.
So is the implication here that every tree she plants has, all the apples will make you sleep? Or that whole basket of apples that she brought over, she had put a bunch of sleeping curses in every single one?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Or is it just a bizarre move on Regina's part? And they really were just normal apples, and she was like, "Here." Have an apple.
It's quite possible because she's just like, haha, ironic, isn't it?
No one knows but me. Enjoy.
I know what this symbolizes. You sure don't.
I feel like that's her entire game with the curse. Like
That's
she does a lot of ironic things just to amuse the fuck out of herself.
listen, you gotta find your fun somewhere. So they get to school, and Emma and Henry get to school. They run into Mary Margaret. Remember, Mary Margaret is Henry's teacher, and Mary Margaret reveals that Henry thinks she is Snow White, which Henry thinks that Snow White is Emma's mom. Dun, dun,
Oh my god.
dun. So then, in perhaps the most bizarre move of all time,
Woof.
maybe, Emma goes to question Henry's therapist, who I feel
You know, as one does.
probably is not allowed to reveal anything under doctor-patient confidentiality.
I mean, that blew right out the window episode 1 when he was like, hey kiddo, didn't see you at therapy.
So true. It's just, it's upsetting. So basically, Archie hands over Henry's file. Then Emma takes it, and Archie calls Regina, pretty much proving that she told him to hand over the file. And he knew that he shouldn't be handing over the file, but he did it anyway. We're going to put a pin in that for later. And so Emma takes the file and she is promptly arrested for taking a file because Archie has surprisingly claimed that, oh no, Emma stole the file. So
Weird.
Emma's like, no, Graham, I'm set up. I was set up. And it's just like, yeah, you still took a file. Too bad, so sad. Let's take your mugshot.
Let's put the cuffs back on. I'm Christian Grey and I do what I want.
It's upsetting. Say less right now.
For those who don't actually watch the show or just here for whatever weird reason, Graham is played by the only
Jamie Dornan.
I don't even know. Thank you, Christian Grey. So it's funny because handcuffs. Proceed.
We'll proceed in jail, where Mary Margaret has bailed Emma out with I don't know what money because she is a school teacher. But I suppose maybe it's a private school, although private schools notoriously pay less. Just for the record.
That's fast. I did not actually know that. Weird.
So anyway, Emma immediately goes and gets out of jail, and her very first move is to go chainsaw down. She decides,
you're a free woman. You're finally out of jail. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna chainsaw down the mayor's prize tree. Is what I'm gonna do.
What a specific choice. What a specific choice.
So basically, of course, Regina freaks out. Rightfully so, I would argue.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, Emma didn't chainsaw down the whole thing. She just sawed off a branch because she was stopped. And, Emma looks at her and is just like, your move. Let's antagonize people further. Beautiful. So tactical. Such geniuses. So then we're back in the Enchanted Forest. On her father's advice, the evil queen goes to see the originator of the dark curse to find out what went wrong. And the originator is, of course, Rumpelstiltskin.
Oh, I love him.
So he's in jail. He's in his little spiky cage. And he gets real mad about her trying to enact the curse with the horse's heart. And just side note, I feel like if your prisoner can get their head out the bars and then strangle somebody through them, it's a flaw in the jail cell design.
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to do that. It's usually what it's supposed to prevent, I feel like.
But he's able to do it, so, good for him.
Good on him.
And, basically he says what we kind of already knew. She needs to cut out the heart of the thing she loves most. And he says, you know what you love, go kill it. We go back to Storybrooke. Emma is kicked out of the bed and breakfast because, there's a felon's ordinance, according to Regina. Oh, no.
Since when?
Since 10 seconds ago.
Perfect.
And Graham visits Regina and it basically is like, hey, arresting Emma again is not a good idea. Even if she destroyed city property, because she's just going to keep coming at you. And every time you antagonize her, it's just going to make things worse.
She fights back.
So Regina's like, yeah, but no, she's not about to. She just is gonna get trickier. So she puts a boot on Emma's car, and when Emma like calls and confronts her, she's just like, hey, let's truce, come to my office. And, they have this little conversation. And Regina, like, sort of goads Emma, sort of. She leads her to it, I would argue.
Yeah. Yes.
She doesn't make her say it, but she does lead her to saying that
She leaves some breadcrumbs.
she leaves a trail so that Emma says that Henry is crazy, or that his, ideas are crazy. And then, of course, Henry's right behind her. And
what a weird choice for mom to be like, this will hurt my child. Let's do this.
Listen.
Like, weird move from Regina. Effective, but weird.
Not a great mom move, that's for sure.
No.
So then, of course, we go back to Fairy Tale Land, Enchanted Forest, where Regina has a heart-to-heart with her dad, who's kind of trying to remind her that, revenge is a sad, lonely path, and she has things she loves, and she can be happy again. And then Regina's like, yes, I can be happy again, just not here. And then promptly, like, murders him and cuts out his heart. Well, she pulls out his heart, which I feel like does not...
He collapses immediately.
He does. And I know it's perhaps... It might be even the very first heart pull.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen... I think this was like a big moment of, oh my god, we know she could do that. Holy shit, she can do that. Like, we've seen her be a mouse. We've seen her command the trees. She can pull out hearts. Oh my... I think this is a first.
So, I mean, we can be a little lenient, but via every other heart pull on this show, this is not accurate to how heart pulling works. Just for the record. This method of heart pull will get retconned.
In exactly like 3 episodes, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's soon.
Like, it's pretty fucking quick.
It's pretty fast. So...
Yeah, episode 7. So in exactly 5 episodes, well, maybe even before then, but 5 episodes, it's for sure, like, confirmed. Like,
yep, we're changing the rules. Like good showrunners. Emma pays Mary Margaret back for her bail, and then they have this heart-to-heart about Henry, and Mary Margaret's like, well, the reason you want to leave to protect Henry is the exact reason you should stay, because you care about him. In Archie's office, Emma pretty much, like, straight up lies to Henry, and is just like, hey, I don't think you're crazy, but we've got to pretend that we're non-believers to throw Regina off a rhythm.
Street smarts.
So, Operation Cobra has commenced. I'm really mad because I've just realized something. This is far down the line, but I've just realized that in season 7, the operation we get is Operation Mongoose. Mongoose are the only things that kill cobras. Okay. Well,
the thing is, that was all Ronnie. I'm pretty sure Ronnie Regina is like, oh, okay, we have to have a code name because she is like trying to repeat history because she's cute like that. So that's all her. Henry's not clever. He's just like, I don't know, I like fucking snakes. I'm 10. I don't care.
I think that is correct. Yes. So beautiful.
But also disgusting. I hate it.
Anyway. We're towards the very end of the episode. In the Enchanted Forest, we watch as Regina enacts the dark curse with her father's heart, and then, like, visits her dad's grave.
Just says Henry.
It just says Henry, beloved father. And it's a very big, like, headstone for such little text.
And I do believe that's supposed to be a big reveal. Like, oh my god, that's why she named her son Henry. Yes. Like, she did love her father. How bizarre. She killed the man that what? Like, it's supposed to be a very dichotomous moment, I believe.
Yes. Like, it's a big reveal that his name was Henry. Anyway, then we get to the very last scene, which is Gold visiting Regina in Storybrooke. And they're having this conversation about Emma And Regina is now very suspicious of who Emma is and that she might, in fact, be the one who could break the curse, which Gold will say nothing about. And then we get this moment it's quite a good moment that basically when they were having their little conversation about the dark curse in the jail cell, Rumpelstiltskin extracted a promise from the evil queen that in this new land, he will be well taken care of and that she will grant his every wish as long as he says the word please. And she is she's a sweet little muffin and is just like, hey, you're not going to remember who you are. So if I succeed, so like, this is not a problem. And he's like,
sure, whatever, LOL.
And he's like, so it's not a problem then. Make me the promise. She makes the promise. And it's very clear from
or
this.
Make promises to the Dark One. Just like never fucking
bad idea. It's very clear from this end scene that Gold probably knows who he is because they're having this conversation. He's trying to get out of it. She gets in his way and he says, basically, I'm not going to tell you anything. So get out of the way, please. And then she has to do it. Just wish they'd done more with that. But anyway, that's the end of the episode.
Holy shit, what a lot to unpack.
So much to unpack. And the very first thing I would like to acknowledge is the scenes with Regina and Rumple are easily some of the best on the show. Like,
they're having the most fun. Like Robert Carlyle and Lana Parrilla, they are like the tent poles of this show. Like they are the cornerstones. They are the foundation that make this show enjoyable for all of its seasons because they are the few of the actual cast that returns for season 7.
That is true.
Otherwise, it would be trash and a half.
So true. And it's just also, I think, especially in these first episodes, they are so deeply committed to their characters that they're doing the camp. They're doing the necessary, like, oh ho ho, this is very fun. But they're also taking it very seriously. So it's like a lot of fun because it's not like self-aware camp. It's a soap opera. It's a soap opera that is taking it up seriously.
They understood the assignment.
They were the only ones who like fully did. I think other people are having fun on the show, and I'm not saying that they're not good actors, but like they were the only ones who like nail exactly what the show is. How it's like dramatic but comedic but camp, but also like there's a heart there, and they seem to like know it. They also seem to know their characters the best.
Yes, they also seem to know how to put weird sexual tension into every single scene they're in with each other or others.
That's very accurate. I'm really offended by the words you've just said.
It's true though. Like I don't know what it is. I mean, with Lana, I know what it is. She has some very wonderful assets on her person, but it's the Rumpelstiltskin of it all that bothers me. He is a scaly boy. How does he make every single scene sexually charged?
One scaly boy, please.
At least I haven't had any other dreams about going on a date with Robert Carlyle. That happened last week. I absolutely had a dream that he and I went on a date or something. Or I don't really remember the details now. It was a whole thing.
It's upsetting. That man is
wasn't
many
good.
years your senior. Listen, I know I have very little room to speak, but it's more years.
You have more room than that. You have more room than what I just explained.
Correct.
Yeah, I have nothing. I have no explanation for myself.
Fair. Also, before we really get into the meat of the notes, I do just want to say, like, we open with a song. Do you remember when this show had songs? Like when they had a music budget? That was nice. I liked the music budget. I mean,
it's fun. It keeps things fresh and energized, gives you some energy. It tells you what you should be feeling in that moment.
I guess it's like, you could argue perhaps unnecessary, especially as the show becomes more unmoored from reality. But like, I liked the touchstone.
It's a nice moment.
Especially in this first season, we're very much supposed to be anchored in our world, in our version. of the world. So, like, I like having actual songs that I recognize. And I'm like, oh, I've listened to this
Yes.
before. Because it, like, pulls you right to our world.
Yeah, you know, you're sitting there like, maybe I'm in Storybrooke. Maybe I'm cursed. Oh,
And after
I am
2020,
cursed. Let's be honest. We're all cursed.
everybody send us who you think your fairy tale character is. Who would you be?
I would say Belle, but I'll explain later why that's a bad choice. It probably means you need to go to therapy. That's for another day.
Another day.
I mean, that's an interesting point. I feel like I would be like, I want to be someone cool. I'd probably just be like cast member 23.
I'm the baker who goes by with her bread like always.
I can't even bake. I'm the woman screaming about how expensive eggs are.
We're not even interesting enough to be the Bimbettes. It's
No.
fine. Don't worry about it. So what you gotta say? Bring it on.
Oh, I have a lot to say. So we kind of touched on it, but I've seen this show so many times. More times than I like to admit. When I was watching it week by week, I knew that Swan Queen shippers were a thing. I saw them. I was on the Tumblrs. I was cool. I saw them.
I need you to pause because I need to just highlight a thing you just said. I was on the Tumblrs. I was cool. No, we were both on the Tumblrs. We were not cool.
That's fair. That's fair. Redacted. We were not cool.
We continue.
No, it's a good distinction. I remember having a lot of conversations, you and I on the couch, watching it going, you know, I don't ship it.
True.
I am a mature woman now. I have stepped back. I have pulled myself out of whatever ships I thought that Emma deserved because she's terrible and deserves no one. But I now in this new lens of watching the show, I see it. I see where the Swan Queen shippers are coming from. I don't ship per se, but the cinematography alone, there's so many moments where it's like, this is like a slowly panning in camera, focusing distinctly on their eye contact and lips, and this cannot be unintentional.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, like, listen, still not my jam. Like, if I had to ship someone on the show, which, please don't make me ship anybody on the show, except for maybe Regina and Robin. Maybe.
I ship, that's it.
Regina and Happiness.
No, what's, not David, what's his brother's name? James and Cruella.
I ship Cruella and Killing. But no, like, I totally see it. The argument is so there. Absolutely. Like, and it's only going to get worse. And by worse, I mean, like I am better for the shippers. I just mean, like, their argument will get stronger and stronger.
No, it's true. And actually, I am curious now, because we both strongly detest Emma. I'm curious who people do ship her with. Is it Neil, Hook, Graham, Regina, or someone else? Like, so maybe we'll do like a poll or something. So I'm curious. I really want to know, those that are invested in Emma's story, who did you ship her with and why? Like, I need to understand, because as the show goes on, I care less and less about her episode by episode. And by the end, I didn't care at all.
The thing that is really tricky about this show, and I mean, kudos to them for doing it as they realized where their show was going, but it is weird because it continues to center Emma, but it's not Emma's story.
It's not until very last episode they finally realize, oh wait, this has been Regina's story.
Right, it's pretty much Regina's story.
Let's backpedal
completely. So, you know, it's I would think that maybe that's part of why it's hard to like Emma as much as we do in season 1, because season 1 is Emma's story. Mm-hmm. And Regina is the villain in Emma's story. But as we move forward and like the fan reaction comes in and the writing, you know, of arcs comes in, it very clearly becomes Regina's story. It's Regina's redemption arc over several seasons. But anyway, that's my theory, is that's part of why we don't like her as much, because it's like, hey, you're not our main character, and yet they keep telling us you're our main character.
No, I'm sorry. When you have a character that insists that, oh, I'm his mom. No, you had a closed adoption.
Right, you are his mother. That is accurate. You are his biological mother. Absolutely. And you can be very attached to him, and that is A-okay. But you chose a closed adoption. Regina has legal options. I mean,
Yes.
I don't know if there are lawyers in Storybrooke.
There is no law in Storybrooke. The cops are there just because they like to hold a gun, I guess. I don't know.
They're fighting Regina. What are you talking about?
It's fair. But yeah, that was kind of my Swan Queen, my God, Swan Queen shout out. What do you got?
In that same vein, just along the Regina and Emma arc through line, Regina's plan is terrible. Like, so deeply terrible as she tries to get rid of Emma. Because I cannot think, Emma straight up looks her in the face and says, the more you try to get rid of me, the more I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay here even harder. And like, I'm gonna stay right there in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Listen, it's a long story.
Maybe we'll do a story time some week and share some of the weird stuff that's happened to us in Disneyland. But that's for another day.
But basically, you would think if you had any sense of planning or cunning, which Regina's not unintelligent,
No, they've proven that she is very cunning and she killed her father. We are being told she's a very specific, methodical person.
Right, and I guess you could argue like maybe she does tend to get her little blinders on, and she doesn't think about the bigger picture. But you would think she would just kind of say, hey, I'm happy to send you updates on Henry, but it's close. We're going through a rough time. I realize, please, I think it would be better for him if you just went back to Boston, but I will send you updates as you want them. Because she could lie in the updates. Like,
yeah, right.
Or even just like, hey, you can talk to Henry for 10 minutes every Friday or whatever you need to do, but just get her out of Storybrooke.
Right, you're confusing the 10-year-old.
And then she'd be like, oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I want to take care of the kid, so, okay. Sure, you're his mom. But no, she just goes like full evil villain mode. And is like, you know about these apples? He's good. Like, she goes full Pip. Pip is not a villain.
No, but why can't I think of his name?
Nathaniel?
She went full Nathaniel. When she is a Nerissa.
She is a Nerissa.
Nerissa walks so Regina can soar.
That's very true. So, yeah, anyway, it's an interesting little plan she has because it doesn't work, like, at all.
It makes the problem so much worse.
Every single time. Every single time. Anything else you would like to address?
Oh, God. Well, I feel like I have to, in due diligence of our list of the Dark Curses, at least kind of dwell on the Dark Curse for a minute. We finally kind of get the details here. Maleficent has it when it's first brought up. Regina claims that it's hers, but she got it from someone else. We find out later that someone else is Rumpelstiltskin. It is called the Curse to End All Curses. This is what we are being told. This dark curse that is on Storybrooke is the curse to end all curses. Now, we'll just let that sit there for about a season, and this will come back later to haunt our dreams and our very lives. Because, shocker, it is not the curse to end all curses.
Many more curses to come.
So many more curses
are coming.
That should have been their tagline.
It's so true. Yeah, we're not, we don't really think about the implications of our vocabulary and word choice on the show.
No, we just kind of throw spaghetti on the wall and be like, and hope it all sticks and go with it.
Hopefully it will. So I just have a couple more notes here.
Sure.
Number one, I just very briefly would like to touch on the fact that really wish at some point we had gotten Henry Sr. back in flashbacks. Like, yes. I want to know how he goes from what we see in season 1, where he's just kind of a yes man for Regina, and like clearly feels very guilty about the fact that she's become the evil queen, to like, I want to know how he got there from what we see in season 2 in flashbacks a little bit, where he kind of just steps aside and lets Cora be truly awful to Regina as a girl. And I wish at some point we could have gotten him back to kind of explore, like, because that just would have been a very interesting thing to explore, is like that idea of you weren't there for your kid as you should have been when they were in trouble. And then you feel so guilty about that you go the exact opposite direction and you're not challenging them on anything, including and up to ripping out your own heart and murdering you. So I wish we had gotten that, but once upon a time.
I think that's the problem with this show so many times, is they have such clever and intricate setups, and you think they're going somewhere, and it's an exciting place they're going, and it's like, wow, they've been building this up for so long, and then they go, what? Oh, no, we don't know what that was about. Here's actually
Neverland.
Listen, it's too soon for you to be mentioning Neverland.
We finished it a month ago, and we'll have to go back.
Yeah, we tried so fast to get through it, and then we're like, hey, we should start recording, so we're back here. Going back to Neverland.
Yeah. And then I just had one final note, and this is really where I am wildly confused. So Archie's a terrible therapist, right? Like, a really bad therapist.
I don't think this man has a PhD at all.
Shockingly, I think he might have gotten this from a curse. But like,
weird. This Cricket's not even qualified.
Cricket over here is spilling the beans on his patient to anybody who asks, then is like, here, take a file. Which, okay, I get, like, maybe the mayor was, like, blackmailing him.
Do it or else I'll take Pongo. I don't know. What does she have over him? What does she have?
Just Pongo.
That's fair.
Listen, he's a very cute dog.
If I had a dog, I would do whatever anyone said to keep that dog safe. If they were like, give away someone's secret information for the dog's sake, I'd be like, fair enough, it's not mine anymore. Here's everything you want.
Completely. But here is my final point. We've been told that Emma's superpower is that she can tell.
Don't fucking do this to me. No,
she can
stop.
tell.
Don't
she
do
can
this.
tell.
No.
When people are lying. Now, we have this whole conversation last episode about how it's not, if people are believing that they're telling the truth, even if they're not, but they believe it's the truth, that's different. She can't tell that.
Apparently she's like omniscient over here.
She can only tell if somebody is actively trying to deceive her, which is fair. Like, I wish they'd followed through on that, because that's actually, like, has some bounds and some rules on it. But whatever.
We don't have rules on this show.
But here's the thing. Archie is actively deceiving her this entire scene. Straight up lying to her face. Like, I mean, maybe the information he's saying is not factually incorrect, but she is actively being lied to. Because we see him sit down and call Regina, but she doesn't know this. So, we got the superpower in episode 1. It's broken by episode 2.
No, but here's my theory about that. I mentioned briefly last episode about how her energy and her enticement as a character is held in her curls already. The curls are starting to drop. I think that she left her curling iron at Granny's and will never get it back. Or maybe Ruby stole it for her own use.
Is a Greek mythology thing.
I mean...
Samson. Excuse me, not Greek mythology. That's a Bible story. Samson and his hair.
I didn't even question it, which is the more upsetting thing. There is no God here. You know what? That's fair.
There's no God. This is once upon a time.
Exactly. No, but episode 1, I go over this a lot, so I'll spare the details, but we have her in her most iconic form. Curly hair, power walking. We never see that side of her again. We're never going to see her as...
I miss her already.
Sure of herself. I miss her so much. And her curls just drop more and more season by season, as does her superpower fail her. So, I think that logic really does sound out. Like, her curls are already gone from season 1, from episode 1.
I think that's fair.
What are you going to do about it?
That is deeply fair.
There's one more thing I think we both need to touch on. So we agree no one is aging in Storybrooke.
How the hell is Henry 10?
How the hell did Regina think that this would work? Like, all right, I've created a little cursed village. No one's aging. Nothing changed. Let me get a normal child not from here that will age as a normal child does. Certainly he will never be made aware of anything amiss.
Baffling, because, like, either, as we have not seen Henry as a child, as of right now, we just know he was adopted. So I guess you could say, like, maybe he came to her at 10 years old. But, like...
Yes, but at some point that's going to catch up and he's going to be like, hey, Mom, why are all my friends still 10 and I'm now 15?
Why did I stop aging?
either way, like, at some point he's going to say, "Excuse me, Mom, I'm now very tall. My friends are still very tiny. Please explain." And she'll say, "Well, son, you're cursed."
Excuse me, Mom, I've never hit puberty. I'm 23.
Like, at some point she had to realize he was going to be uncertain of his predicament.
Don't understand. Listen, Regina is a lot of things, and I love her so dearly. She is perhaps not a mastermind.
No. I think we learn later on, I think Rumpel has given her every decent idea she's ever had in her life. I don't think she's had an original idea once.
Especially not on her evil schemes. Like, once she starts being good, like, she's got some good ideas.
She has some good ideas. I mean, maybe one of her better ideas was not to, like, split herself into two personalities. Like, maybe that wasn't a good one, but it was in good intent.
But yeah, her evil plans, not so much.
No, she just says, "Oh, here's my original idea," and Rumpel's like, I mean, I told you could copy my homework, just don't make it look the same, but these are pretty identical. I guess you didn't try very hard."
Listen, who's gonna question her?
No one.
Listen, and if, you know what, and if they do question her, she can just kind of, like, be like...
Rip their heart out?
Well, I was gonna say just kind of, like, stand up a little straighter and, like, shimmy a little bit. But
that would work for me, I'll be honest. I'd be like, fair enough, proceed.
But, you know, ripping hearts out works too. All right, so...
What a bonkers episode. We have some checklist items to do.
So, on the family tree front, last episode we learned that Emma is Snow and Charming's kid, Henry is Emma's kid, and Henry was adopted by Regina. We only had one little addition, and that is that Regina had a father whose name was also Henry. So, Senior. Yeah, Henry Senior.
The last name on the tombstone. It's just
Henry.
Henry.
Well, I guess Henry Jr. doesn't exist yet, so
that's upsetting. I also realized in the Enchanted Forest, we don't know Regina's last name. Or is it Mills in both universes? And she was like, "Oh, fuck you, I can be what I want."
Well, it'd be interesting because her mom was the Miller's daughter, which is the Mills part of it, right?
Yeah.
But
I guess she's kept her own last name. It was like, it's funny because everyone else has to change their name, but not me. I'm still Regina. Get fucked, everyone.
Part of my revenge is name changes.
I mean, she is mostly just delighted by the puns and the jokes and the things she's created.
I think, honestly, she should have, like, been really evil and made everybody go through the legal process of changing their names.
I mean, I've been married 2 years and I still have a bank account under my maiden name because it's too much work. I hate it. It will never get changed. I'm very lazy.
This is my point.
She should have.
I don't think we have any fuckfern updates.
No, well, that's no fun. I mean, I would argue we have like I think there has to be 3 sexual tension moments to
argue
constitute fucking. So I would almost argue that Regina and Rumpel have one moment now from that jail scene. Yep.
I'm happy to upgrade their,
because like they were very close.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. It's weird. How are we doing on beans and curses?
Oh God! All right, so beans. We got no magic beans so far. None beans. None beans. In curses, we have just one. We have the dark curse. We've done one town-wide curse
because we're only counting, as a reminder, we're only counting town-wide curses. Any little sleeping curses or things like that are a separate thing that we're not paying attention to. We're talking town-wide. Everybody cursed.
Correct. Exactly. And the lie list, and if you're listening and you've caught me, I've missed, definitely let us know. By my counts, so successes, we have 2 times Emma has successfully used her superpower, and twice it has failed.
Okay, so we're at a solid 50-50.
Right? And again, correct me if that's wrong, and I'll try to keep a more like accurate log of those instances to share with you guys so we get further down the line. But right now we're 2 for 2. It's fine. There were a few instances last episode where it was like, oh, it works, or it does.
Yeah. Interesting.
So it's still TBD on the superpower.
Yeah, we are. She's not batting a great percentage right now.
No, it's not ideal.
I pretend to understand and know baseball. But
I know nothing. Everything I know about baseball is from Twilight.
Well, I feel like that's an inaccurate representation of baseball. It's a theatrical representation of a baseball.
Exactly.
Yeah, everything I know I learned from my father yelling at the television, so,
Woof.
I don't know how accurate that is.
That'll do it too.
Uh, but, wow.
How would your father react to watching vampire baseball? Like, what would he be yelling if you were
Well,
watching
he only cares
Twilight?
about the Giants, so he wouldn't give a fuck. No, that's not true. He actually cares about baseball. I think he'd be annoyed, mostly because I don't think they follow real, and that would annoy him. Also, I think
fair.
he'd be concerned about the umpire calling things. That seems to be what he yells about.
That's fair.
So,
I've never been to a Dodgers game. I've lived here for like 6 years now. I don't know if I'm proud of that or like if it needs to be fixed. I think I'm leaning towards like it's a weird mark of pride
fair.
that I've never been to a Dodgers game.
I think that's fair. Isn't there an Anaheim game team? I think there is.
Yeah, there's the
Yeah.
Angels. Yeah, there's the Angel. I've been to an Angels
So
game.
so now you have to be an Angels fan because
I guess so. I mean,
simply to spite the Dodgers. You're a NorCal girl.
it's very easy to spite the Dodgers.
That's fair. That is so fair. Well,
Oh god, this has been a really bad
this
time.
has been terrible, and we're only 2 episodes in.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I can't wait to do it again.
I really can't wait to do it again.
Oh, buckle up, guys. Are we calling them winesters? Is that a thing?
No, why not? I'm not calling you an alcohol.
No, because like winesters, you could be whining.
Winesers.
That's all I do.
I think Winesers works. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I guess have a good week. It can only go up from here. That's the great news. Your week can literally only go up from here.
It really can only go up from here.
That's what we're here. Like every Sunday, we're here just to make sure you're starting at rock bottom.
So it can only go
to
up.
Really make sure the rest of your week looks great. You're welcome.
Enjoy. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And we will see you next week.
See you then. Bye, guys.